Hi everybody, it's Laura. Hi, how you doing? I'm here today because I want to talk to you about our brand new items for release March 1st, 2016 here at Lil Inker Designs. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm coming to you from my crafty headquarters, and as you can see, I have a bunch of projects that I've made for this release, and I'd really like to show you the new items I used to create these projects. And more importantly, I'm here because I want to show you how the products that we're releasing today mix and match with one another, which sometimes is not easy to notice at first glance when you're just looking on a website. So with that in mind, I think I will get started. I have absolutely no format to what I'm going to talk about, so you bear with me. Figure it a conversation more than an instructional video. So I think first up, I'd like to talk about this little set here called Easter Hodgepodge. Now, it may not look like much to you at first, and I think it's really important that we know all of the things that this stamp set can do, because I know that if I were browsing on a website, I might tend to overlook this because I wasn't sure maybe what it could do or what its potential is. So that's why I want to show this to you first so that you know exactly how awesome it is. So again, this is our Easter Hodgepodge stamp set. It's a 3x4 set, and it has some totally rando stamps on it. Well, maybe rando at first glance, but really not. Very well planned when you figure out why I've done what I've done here. So I wanted to design a stamp set for you that coordinated with our popular Bunnies and Bows die set. Now I know a lot of our Lil Inker friends and customers have this die set and love it and use it a lot, especially this time of year. And so I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to give those customers that have this item another way to use these dies? So I set out to create some sentiments that stamp on the backs of the bunnies. And that's exactly what I've done here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sentiments. We have Hello Spring, Easter Greetings, Happy Easter, and Some Bunny Loves You. And all of these will fit onto the back sides of the bunnies. And there are some that are specifically for the large bunny with his bow on, the small bunny with his bow on, and then there is one that fits the small bunny with no bow. And that I know for sure is the Some Bunny Loves You sentiment. Now, if you look on our website, I have a complete layout of which stamps coordinate with which bunnies and how you can figure that all out, so make sure to go to our website and check it out. But these are lovely, and they give you really a whole new way to use these bunnies, and I'm really excited about that. And it's like this really trendy look to have these dies, and then you can stamp a sentiment onto the back of them. So I think you're gonna really love those. And they have this great font. Sorry, I gotta pause for coffee. They have a great font that is really, it looks like it's handwritten, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. So definitely check that out. And not just because of these 4 greetings, because there are some other things in here that you're going to find super useful as well. So again, this is not a new die with this release, but we have plenty in stock for you. And if you don't already have them, you will totally love them. So check those out. So the other things that coordinate in this sentiment stamp set with other things in our releases with this brand new dual stitched egg die. This die is the most perfect size for focal images on cards. It's also got our signature dual stitching, so this will make for a great shaker card because you can use the negative cut and still have that decorative stitching along the edge. And you'll see nested within this die is a greeting die. It's our Happy Easter greeting die. So this is our dual stitched egg and Happy Easter greeting die set. And you'll see that there is, this is my gently used stamp set, by the way, so you'll have to forgive me if it looks kind of dirty on camera. But as you'll see, there is a Happy Easter text that's repeated over and over and over again. Well, it perfectly die cuts out with this egg die in the set. And then this stamp, Happy Easter, is the same calligraphy, same image that you see in the greeting die. And I thought it would be kind of cool to fill the space on this stamp set with this because, you know, a word die is great, but when you have a stamp, then you can heat emboss and do some other things. So I really like that I have the option of using either the Happy Easter greeting die or the Happy Easter stamp in this set. And what's really cool about the text on the egg, on the greeting die, and on the individual sentiment stamp is that it coordinates with our brand new paper packs. These are our Easter greetings paper packs, and I have to tell you, if you haven't tried our little mini paper packs yet, you must. They're really affordable at $3.75 each, and they are completely manufactured here in the United States, from all of the printing to all of the cutting and packaging after the fact. I really like that about our products. But because I've been able to, you know, manufacture them literally 20 minutes from my house, I've been able to also hand pick the paper that I thought would be most suitable for crafters. So we have this super smooth, really nicely weighted ultra premium cardstock for you, and it really does feel buttery. I think you'll really like it. So they're in these great little shapes and patterns and colors that I think you're gonna really like. And the reason why I said they coordinate is because we've got these few sheets here, sort of this pinky coral, the green, and this bright yellow, and you'll notice, well, there is the greeting again. So everything sort of ties in together, which I really like. It gives it almost a kit effect. But what I like about being able to buy things individually is that I get to pick and choose what I want instead of receiving a kit where I may only use, you know, 85% of the things inside of it. I thought I would show you a quick card I made, and I really do mean quick. I know I say this all the time. I feel like a broken record. Remember, this is Coffee Hour with Laura. My goodness, if I can't say 3 sentences without taking a sip of my coffee. So, like I said, more of a conversation amongst girlfriends rather than an instructional formal video. It's just much more my speed. So as you can see here, I made this really quick card. Oh, I was about to say, I say it all the time, I'm such a broken record, but the more and more I run this business, the less and less time I actually have to craft with the products that we create and design and manufacture for you here. So I design a lot more of our things lately with quick and easy in mind. Quick, easy, and versatile. So what I did here is I stamped in Versamark ink and then heat embossed in black this textural egg stamp that repeats Happy Easter, Happy Easter, Happy Easter. And once that was cooled off enough from heat embossing it, I used my egg, which lines up perfectly, and I did a little die cutting, quick and simple. And then what I did, and I actually kind of cheated, I went through my little bin. But it's like a tchotchke bin. It's like the die cuts that you've cut and never used but may come in handy someday. So from my little tchotchke bin, I had these pre-watercolored little flowers, and they just so happened to match some of the colors of the paper pack that we're releasing. So I pulled them out, and oh, these were cut with our Perky Posy dies. So pretty, little flowers with stitching. I popped it on a plain stone card base, added a couple of little scrap strips of paper to the base, and there we go. I have a really soft and pretty card in sort of these like bright and fun pastels, and I think it took me under 5 minutes, and that just gives me joy. when I can put something together that I'm happy with the outcome in 5 minutes or less. I'm a real happy girl. How about you? Okay, so let's move on. So there are some other stamp sets or stamps that we're releasing that coordinate with this dual stitched egg and Easter greeting die, and I'd like to show those to you today. These are our egg and flower greeting stamps. I use the terms egg and flower sort of like a play on cooking, and you get the idea. All of the shapes are egg form, egg shaped, and they're floral, so egg and flower. There you go. I was trying to be witty. I don't know if I pulled it off or not, but what you can see here is I have 3 different egg shapes, and they all have these really intricate, pretty flower drawings on them. But you'll notice that they have a space in the center. So let me pull one off for you. So I want to show you how this is a full one stamp. I could have broken them into 2, but I just felt like having it in one was a lot more user-friendly and a lot faster for end use. So stamp these, color them, watercolor them, heat emboss them, and then we gave you 6 different sentiments, one-word sentiments that all stamp within the open space of the eggs, which I thought was kind of cool. And I also opted for going with a font that had open lettering so that you could watercolor or color them in with marker just like you can the main focal images in the set. So we included some greetings in addition to those for Easter and spring, like love, hello, thanks, and friend, because, well, they're really such pretty images that you can use them for a lot of things. And I don't really think that they look overly eggish, if that makes sense. So if you were to turn something like this into a tag, if you poked a hole at the top, it doesn't scream Easter egg to me, and we'll get to this in a minute. So let me show you some of the things I made with this new stamp set and the die that coordinates. So this is my card. It certainly is for Easter, and I went with the simplest method here, which was just stamping in black ink and then taking some markers to it. And I really like how it turned out. I picked out some comparing or comparable colors that sort of match, a light one and a darker one, and I just really dotted this on. I mean, the spaces are pretty little, but as you can see, there's enough here to color that it gives you a really vibrant impact when it's colored in. So there we go. So I stamped twice, so once my image and then second my sentiment. And then I die cut, and then as you can see here in the background, I used some papers from our new Easter Greetings paper pack. And this came together relatively quickly too, which you know how much I love that now. So that's one way to use these egg and flower greeting stamps. Let's see, another way, I made this cute little tag, and I did the same thing except I used neon chalk markers. I probably should have brought them out so I could show them to you in this video, but they're just those like bistro chalk markers, I think they're called. And I used a different image from the set. It's this one here. I opted to stamp the word friend inside, and again, I colored this in by dotting, and it worked. But you'll want to be really sure that you check out the photo gallery on our website for the stamp set. You'll want to notice the images from Karen Baker. She managed to make it look like the bottom of the egg, or I think she may have used the top even because it's a little bit smaller, was literally made for a circle die and used the greeting to go with it, and the results, they were jaw-dropping, I thought. So she did amazing with that. So wanted to make sure that you check those out. Okay, so let's move on then, shall we? Let's talk about some more Easter things. So I created this. This is an Easter basket die set, and it's something that I've always wanted to bring to you. And we actually had this die left from last year, but it was part of something else that we were working on, and it just wasn't quite perfect enough for me to bring it to you, and I ended up just pulling out this basket. We added in this little stitched texture here, which is actually the same texture that you'll find on our quilted stitched pattern die. That's the quilted stitched pattern die with the little cross hatches on them. We put that on the face of the basket because I thought it just created the cutest texture. But then this really needed some eggs to go inside, I thought. So we created this one egg with dual stitching, and you can cut this multiple times and it adds perfectly to the inside of the egg, which obviously there's no inside, so to add them in, you put them on the back side of the die cut. And no Easter basket is complete without a bow, so we took a bow from our bunnies and bows die set and just enlarged it quite a bit and made it the perfect bow topper for this egg, Easter egg basket. So let me show you what I've done with this. So I don't want that to come apart. What I really like about this, and I hope you'll like it too, is that I noticed that the bunnies and bows fit perfectly inside, so it looks like there's a little chocolate bunny in my Easter basket. I thought that was super cute. So as you can see here, here's the little bow, and then I die cut the little mini egg a couple of different times and just glued everything behind here. I don't know, there's something about this basket that I really like. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I think it's the perfect focal image size, but there's something about the handle too. It's like the perfect thickness. And even though there's no detail on it, I think it's just right. I think we would have overdone it if we added stitching to the handle. And my hair is just all over the place. So anyways, I love it. It's a perfect focal image for Easter. Add a little chocolate bunny, add some flowers. Speaking of flowers, okay, so I was looking through the image gallery that the design team came, the place where the design team uploads their projects for new releases, and my jaw fell open onto my keyboard because Jen Carter had the brilliant idea. She's amazing. I love Jen. She had the brilliant idea to put flowers in the basket, and I died because first of all I died because I couldn't believe I didn't think of it myself, but then it opens up a whole new world for this basket die. It's so perfectly designed. It doesn't scream Easter unless you want it to. So it's really adorable to add flowers in. How cute. So this is not my original idea. I totally snatched it from Jen, ran right up to my office and just got crafting because I loved it so much. So these flowers are coming up next. I'll go into detail, but I just wanted you to see this. So these are our new Easter greetings papers. This is the stamp from the Easter hodgepodge stamp set, which I heat embossed Easter basket die, and then I added some florals, and then look at how cute it is. I was even able to add in a little bit of twine here, which just is the perfect touch. And then in the background here is our Border Builders die set, which I used to cut this decorative arch here, which I used for a backdrop. Really fun. So I think that's it on the Easter baskets. Yes, it is. So then let me go right into telling you all about these florals, which I am just literally head over heels for. Okay. I created these all by my little lonesome, and I'm really proud of them, and I hope you love them. And we're calling them our fresh cut flowers because I wanted them to have a feeling like you just grabbed them out of the garden and put them into a bunch. And this is the first stamp set I've ever done without sentiments in it, and it felt really strange for me to do that, but I had to incorporate all of these different pieces. What I think you'll especially like about this stamp set is there are 3 different types of images in here. There are multi-step stamps, there are mix and match stamps, and there are single image stamps. Now, I wouldn't expect anybody to look at this stamp set and know exactly how to use it. I mean, of course you know how to use it, but what I mean is which images go with which. So I want to direct you to our website. Check out our Fresh Cut Flowers stamps, and within the product description there's a link to a Google document, a PDF, with all kinds of images and explanations so that you can see exactly which are the multi-step images, which are the mix and match, and which are the single stamp images, and then which dies coordinate with which completed images. Does that make sense? So of course there's a die set, because ain't nobody got time to be fussy cutting these flowers as perfectly as you'd like them to. So we created a die set so that you can run them through and pop out these images super quickly. So I'll just show you really quick that here you can see some of the flowers I used from this stamp set, and I have to give credit to Hero Arts for their ombre ink pads because they just breathed life into these flowers. I think they came out so pretty. So I guess I'll just kind of point out that I used some multi-step stamps here, which were these like trio of tulips, trio of mini tulips, and then this one like small size tulip here. And then there are some mix and match stamps, which was this little flower with another stamp in the center, and then these cute, I don't know what to call these, they're sort of like, they sort of remind me of that vegetable, have you ever heard of fiddleheads? Is it fizzleheads or fiddleheads? I can't remember now, but they're crazy looking. They're delicious, they're green, but anyways, that's what they kind of reminded me of. My son thought they looked a little bit like a seahorse, which I guess he's right, but they're, you know, sort of like viney, spiky. They're cool. I think you'll really like them. So if you love to stamp the most perfect flowers, and you know, there's a lot of room here for error, I think that they're really forgiving. So that means they're easy to use, and I think you're gonna really enjoy them. What's nice about these too is that we have so many sentiments in our collection of stamps already that you can pretty much pick anything you want that you already have. It doesn't even need to be from Lil Inker Designs, and it's gonna work for you. You can see here that I used the stamp from the hodgepodge stamp set, and it really works here. So I have one more image for you. Oh no, I have two more cards. I really went to town with these, I guess, because once I started, I just couldn't stop. So here first is a card where you can see I used Fresh Cut Flowers and their coordinating dies. And then I used some of the greetings from our Egg and Flower greeting stamp set to create my sentiment. And I used two stamps to create a multi-word sentiment, which I thought totally worked. I have a lot of you waiting for the Silly Stitch die sets, which you can see I used here around the border, and then a circular one in the center to sort of make your eye go there. These are coming back into stock on March 1st, which is also the day of our release, and they will be in before the end of the day. Is that an ideal time to restock this die? It is not, and I apologize. It is not my intention to drag out restocking something, but sometimes it's just not under my control, as much as I hate to admit that, of the arrival dates of the dies. So, that being said, if there are items that you want from our new release and you want to make sure that you get them before they sell out, certainly place an order whenever it's convenient for you. But if you're also waiting on the Silly Stitch dies to come back in stock, you can either place a second order later in the evening or wait and place one order together. However it works for you, works for me, and we will combine any orders together that are shipping to the same location, and you know that I always send people back whatever shipping we collected and didn't use towards your order. So nothing lost really if you know you end up placing two orders. All right, so I've gone on about that enough. There really isn't much to say here except I went crazy stamping with my ombre inks and then die cutting. And all I did here was use a little bit of my Tombow Mono adhesive, the permanent one, and I just put them in a fashion that was eye-catching to me, and then I cut out my sentiments, which I heat embossed and colored them with gray inks for this sort of like tonal look. I am in love with this. I don't think I'll be parting with this. I really, like, that's how much I like it. Do you ever just make cards and you don't want to give them away because you like them so much? Well, this is one of those for me. So I hope you think it's as pretty as I think it is. I'm like, oh my gosh, I made that. And this was just such a fun stamp set to work with. So much so that I even made a third card for you. And here I just wanted to show like a grouping of wrapped flowers. So I had, it's funny, I made these two cards first, and then I got a couple new ombre ink pads, the purple and then like the peachy one. So I had to use them. So I went back upstairs and I made more flower cuts. All I did was take a piece of sewing pattern. This is so old. It's probably older than you and I combined, truly, because these I fished out of my grandmother's basement, and they were all cut out and like totally used to make clothing. She definitely made something with these, and I got a couple of them out of her basement just because I like the texture of the paper. It's like a tissue, and it's got this really neat like tea-dyed look to it. So anyways, I just love it. And all I did was make a square and folded it a couple of times to give it this cone shape, and then add the flowers to the top of it to make it look like it was a, you know, a group of wrapped flowers from the florist. And then I wanted to pull out something that I haven't seen for a while. I'm like, oh my goodness, Mother's Day is coming up. My mother would love this bunch of flowers. Oh, well, let me pull out my mom word die and my mom and dad sentiment stamp set. So I did just that. So I die cut our mom word die with this wood paper that I had. I don't know if it's hard to see, and if I lift, I'm gonna lose focus, so I'm gonna just keep it down here. That's so annoying. But this is like a thin birch paper, and then underneath I heat embossed in gold "You're the Best" from the Mom and Dad sentiment stamp set. So I have a nice sentiment, Mom, you're the best. And I have the perfect card for Mother's Day for my mom. And as you can see here in the back, if you love the way this pattern here is in the back, this is also a die from our collection, and it's our cover-up die dotted scallops. It's one of my favorites. So there we go. Lots of things you can do with these fresh cut flower dies. Okay, so what else do I have for you today? I have some new tags coming out. They are our embossed dots tag dies, and I love them. Here they are. It's a set of 2, and some of you might have our embossed dots rectangles, and these are pretty much about the same dotted border, but there are only 2 tags. I didn't want to go much larger, and I couldn't go any smaller inside here, but I think a set of 2 tags is versatile. You have, you know, this is the large one that you can see here. I didn't die cut you a small one, but there's plenty of space here to stamp anything you'd like, so really usable. 1 hang hole for each. Now, I don't know if you know this, but embossing on dies, it's not a perfect science. And it's funny, I recently got an email from our manufacturer of the dies regarding embossing on dies and the expectations we should have, and it basically said the same thing. It's not a perfect science, and this is what you should expect. Now, you can get perfectly embossed tags using this die set. You can run them through just once and you'll pop out a tag, and it will be darn near perfect. But I'm a little bit more of a perfectionist, and I like everything to have a little bit more of a uniform look. So what I did when I made this here, this tag, is I die cut it on white paper, and I had it maybe orientated this way in my die cutting machine. Of course, without this in the middle. And then I cut it again, rotating it the other way. And that just gave me a little bit stronger of an impression. So let me just be clear in telling you that the dotted border that you see along the edge of these dies, does not cut out dots. It embosses them or presses them into the border of your tags, which you can see here. And it did so perfectly just by doing that two-step die cutting. Also, what you can see here is I used our Bunnies and Bows die set that I told you about earlier. And I used our fabulous Easter hodgepodge stamp set, which, where did you go, buddy? Here you are. So you can see I used the Easter greetings stamp that coordinates with the bunny. And you can see I heat embossed it here and added his bow right on, and you can see the whole greeting and everything, and I love the way that looks. I hope you do too. And I made this little fringe grass, believe it or not, by using our fringe flower die and our Easter greetings paper. So I pulled out my fringe flower die. So this is used to make awesome rolled fringy flowers. I have something to show you. I had this handy, or pretty handy. It was just in the next room. So I figured, well, when I first made this die back in 2011 or 2012, I wasn't making videos at the time, so why not show you a little bit more about this? I really designed it to make these really pretty rolled felt flowers. So I cut them all using felt. I think that's your best result with this die. And this was made ages ago. So anyways, you can see my little home decor piece there. They look so pretty, don't they? So anyways, thank you for your time there. So what I did is I die cut a piece of green paper and then I cut it in half this way so it leaves the open spaces, and then I just, you know, trimmed it down to the size of my tag, and then I just used my fingers to roll it up. So if you are looking for a way to add grass in front of your bunny and you don't have a grass border die, try your fringe flower die, or even try maybe our stitched scallop border die. That would work too. Okay, so simple tag. Now, I wanted to show you that I did not add this, but it is my intention to gift this way. So for this release, we actually added in to stock a bunch of packaging. So maybe I should just show them to you. So this is one packaging. It's a cone bag. And it looks like, where did you go, cone bag? I had you out. I know I did. Here it is. Okay. Sorry about that. So these are the cone bags. They're 6 by 12. I don't know if you can see this or not. Now, when these arrived, I bought the smallest size the manufacturer had, and when they arrived, I was like, oh no, they're too big. And then I realized that once you fill them, you can cut them down. So I just put a few orange M&Ms. They're not officially M&Ms, but what else am I gonna call them? Hard shell coated candies. I don't know, but I bought them on Amazon. You can get them in all different colors. I obviously wanted this to look like a carrot, so I bought orange, and then I just didn't want to make a huge one, so I took my scissors and I trimmed off the bag. Realizing now that had I trimmed this with my pinking shears, it would have been a lot cuter, but I'm only thinking of that right now. So these cone baggies are available in our store. They come 6 to a package, and they come with green metallic twist ties so that you can make these carrot looking treats. And I want you to know that I had to fold these in half to put them in a proper packaging and to make them mailable without them having to cost a fortune. Because who wants to pay a fortune to have these little cone treat bags shipped? That's ridiculous. So they are folded in half. But I tested, this one was folded in half before I used it. So I just wanted to show you that once you put your treat inside, that whatever fold may have occurred because of the way they're shipped, it disappears. So I just wanted you to be aware of that. It's also in the product listing. So that's one of the packaging options that we have for you with this release. We have a couple of other things for you. We did add in some craft pillow boxes and some clear pillow boxes. Personally, I really like the clear ones because I think it's really cool to see what you've put inside, but the craft ones are great too just because they've got that whole natural vibe going on, and they're a really great weight. They're much better to use than cardstock. I find that when you make a pillow box using cardstock, the top part that closes can get a little hinky because it's been manipulated and sometimes the weight of the cardstock isn't the best for assembly like this. I think you'll really like the weight of the cardboard craft here. It makes a great treat. Also, I wanted to show you something that might be obvious to you, but sometimes things aren't quite so obvious to me. Now, I don't want to fold this because this is one of the ones in our inventory, but if you notice when you get these in your hand, there's one part of the lips that fold that have this little notch out on them, and that's the one that you fold first when you fold the pillow box. And that is so when you open it, I'll show you, well, it's tied. So you have one flap that you can easily get at to open with a fingernail, but then the other one is inside. So if you put the one with the notch out on the inside when you first close this, there's a place for you to put your finger in and pop it right open. So hello, I didn't know that at first, but they have them on the clear boxes and they have them on one end. Am I lying? I thought they were on one end of the craft boxes. Now I have to check. No, there it is. It might be easier to see here on the craft box. I knew I wasn't losing it. So that's why that's there, so you can get your finger inside and open these. Sometimes things aren't so obvious to me at first. Okay, so as you can see here, do I say that a lot? As you can see, what I did just to make a quick example for you, I used, remember those paper crimpers that have been around forever? Paper crimped a sheet of neon green paper, and then I cut it into strips and cut them into different sizes to make confetti for the inside of my box, or it even looks like Easter grass. Sorry, there's no treat in here just yet, but I can easily put something in there. A little bracelet, or even just a nice fine chocolate for somebody if I don't eat it first. We'll get to that in a minute. And then you can see here I just wrapped it with some pink twine, and here's our dual stitched egg and our egg and flower greeting stamp set. And isn't that the cutest? Okay, we have one other packaging item that I want to bring to your attention. It's these stationery boxes. I have them listed in our store as clear gift boxes. They're gift and or stationery boxes. So what they are going to come, I think it's 3 to a package, and they are flat so that you can assemble them. They're really easy to assemble and they're very high quality. They're food safe because of the material that they're made up from, as are our clear pillow boxes and our cone bags, by the way. All 3 of those are food safe. And you can put a treat in here, you can put many greeting cards in here with coordinating envelopes, and I just thought that they were a nice addition. I was able to fit comfortably without smushing 4 embellished handmade cards, and they were these 4, which I thought were quite thick. So you'll see that there's even a lot of pop-up dots on some of these, or foam dots. So I was able to comfortably fit 4 of these and 4 of our premium envelopes into this box. And I probably then could have even added in a 5th card and an envelope, but I would want to put it in individually, if that makes sense. So I was able to easily put these 4 into this box with 4 coordinating envelopes. Now, wouldn't that be a nice gift to give somebody? Or even just, note cards of all the same theme. So anyways, that's why I wanted to bring these to the shop. So this is what it looks like assembled. It's open at the top. And this is what it will look like when it arrives to you, 3 of them in a package flat. Be sure to check out the photo gallery on our website for this particular item listing, because Jen Carter shows you a great way to add a food treat and how to decorate the box. It's really cute. You want to check it out. Okay, so I think that covered everything except for one more stamp and die combo that I haven't told you about yet, and it's these guys. This is our Bunny Hugger treat die and the Bunny Hugger stamps that it comes with. When you order, you will get these 2 items together as a bundle because one doesn't work without the other, if that makes sense. So at first glance, it just looks like a chubby little bunny with oddly long arms, and it is. And that's for a reason, and it's because when you cut him and then stamp the little greeting on his belly and put his little stamp face on and maybe add some colors to his ears. Did I put a bum on him? I did. Bunny tail. You can kind of use this motion with your hands. He is going to hug a treat. Now this, I wanted to show you what he looked like when he was open without hugging anything. So there he is. And then there he is again, holding a treat. Oh my goodness. So I mentioned to you a few minutes ago, chocolate treat as long as I don't eat it. Okay, so I have had these in my possession for testing for a while now, like since the Valentine's Day candy was out. And I bought a bag of chocolate hearts, and they were the perfect size for this treat because they weren't too long and they were just wide enough. I don't remember what brand they were, but they had to have been, it was like a Hershey's and a Reese's mix because they, let's just say they were delicious, and they're not around anymore. Oh my goodness, I keep buying these treats for these treat holders to show you as samples, and then I eat everything. What is wrong with me? So I had to go back to the store, and now the Easter candy is out, and I wanted to find you the right treat for this. And they did have some smaller, like the Hershey's Nuggets, but I thought for Easter these little egg shapes were really cute, and I'm really happy with them. And I was able to find them in a small bag. And they are my favorites, but they're gone. And I did eat some, but I gave the rest to my son and my husband. So they're gone. And all that's left are these two, and I'll be darned if I eat them. They are not being eaten. These treats are being given away because they're so cute. So anyways, these guys actually work with a lot of different candy shapes. They can work with the chocolate coins. They can work with small peppermint patties. The arms extend to 4 inches long, and I think that you'll find that there are loads of treats in the store that you can buy. And the reason why we did this is because we wanted a cute way for Easter or any time for you to just be able to give someone a hug. And what better than a hug that holds a piece of chocolate? I defy you to find one. So what we've done here is created this cute little chubby bunny, and we've given you a stamp set that contains everything you'll need to dress him up. Sentiments for his tummy, 2 different faces, even a belly button if you didn't want to put a greeting on his tummy, and I even gave you a fluffy bunny tail. And I mean, these are so easy to mass produce, and they come together so incredibly quickly that you can easily make a bunch of these for classroom treats or for teachers. And what I like about them too is that they're sort of like a gift tag size. So if you wanted to punch a hole in Bunny's ear and have him hang from another gift, that's perfectly acceptable too. Now I want to make sure that you know that these hands are held closed. I used glue dots. So in other words, there's no functionality in the die to keep the hands closed. I could have easily made a slit and had these come together, but I really just thought that it would rip easily. So I did this on purpose, and we're using glue dots, and I hope that that's okay with everybody. It doesn't have to be glue dots. It can be just, you know, adhesive tape or glue or anything like that, but I happen to think that the mini glue dots work perfectly with these. And then I also put a large size craft dot here on the belly of the bunny just to keep everything in place, and it pulls off easily, and then everything, you know, everything stays there really well, so you can see. Oh, you guys must think I'm nuts, but as you can see, they're in there good and they're not moving. I'm excited to bring these to you, and I hope that you like them as much as I do. I wanted to also show you that they can do more than hug a treat, but with some clever hand orientation, he can hold a lolly too. So all I did here was stamp his face. I put a bow on him. This happens to be the small bow from the Bunnies and Bows die set. It fit him perfectly. I embellished his face and I made him put his hand on his hip with a glue dot here. And then this hand with a couple of glue dots is holding the treat, and this holds up pretty well too. And as you can see here, I just took a little brown marker and made it as though he had some shoes on. And you can see we added in some stitching around his ears and around his tummy just to make it more Lil Inker Designs-ish, if you will. So these are super fun. Again, this is a die and stamp set bundle. So for one price, you will get both of these items, which you can use over and over and over again for a million different reasons, and I hope you really like it because I do too. I think that just about wraps it up. I'm still reviewing, I'm sure you're wondering, the design team applications. I have an overwhelming response to the call, which thank you everybody for wanting to be a part of this. I just want to say thank you to everybody who applied for the team, and in case you're wondering and you hadn't heard anything yet, it's not because you haven't been chosen, it's because I literally have not had enough time to go through all of the applications yet. So hang in there everybody, and as soon as I know that I've picked people and those people have been notified, I'll make an announcement to let everyone know that we've made our decisions. I want to thank everybody who suffered through my video today. I hope that I achieved my goals, which were to show you everything we released, but then to show you how everything mixed and matched together, which again may not be so obvious when you just read someone's blog or read a product description on a website. So thank you. I hope this helped, and I hope you're as excited about this release as I am. And we will see you soon. Thank you very much for joining me today. And you know, I love to hear from you. So if there's ever anything I can do for you or anything I can help you with, or if you ever have any questions, never hesitate to email me. I'm totally accessible. I love to hear from you. So please email me anytime at littlinkerdesigns@gmail.com. I am Laura. I am here behind the camera. Hello. And thank you again for joining me. And I hope that you found this fun, conversational, and informative. Also my goals. Okay, thanks everybody. Enjoy the release, and we'll see you next time. Bye!